D. McClung, Archer Monologues. Now, here's the thing. I got a question, and I'm not getting an answer. So, what am I going to do? Am I going to just take someone's word for something? Am I going to just trust them, even though they have a long history of lying and giving false information and not telling the truth and giving misinformation and so forth? Seriously. And I just want to say this. This current bullshit going on today with the election, it boggles the mind. It truly does. For example, Donald Trump won the election. There's fraud, and all that shit. I mean, seriously. He won, that's it, we won. And, and there's millions of people out there that, yeah, he won. I'm saying millions. I'm not sure exactly how many. 14, 1,218, 162, I don't know. But a lot of people in certain places. I mean, Donald says it, and he's fucking lunatic. I mean, come on. How is he credible? Yeah, I won because I got 69 million, 71 million. I got 71 million votes. I won. And then today I saw where he said something where he mentioned the figure 74 million. Said 74 million voted for Biden. Wait a minute. He just said that out loud, right? I mean, there's a recording. It's like, I'm not taking someone's word for it. It's not like, somebody told me he said it. I actually heard him say it. Right? So, he said, I won because I got 71 million votes. And people voted and I won. And then he says, and I'm paraphrasing here maybe a little bit, just because I don't want to go back and look it up because I'm lazy. No, I'm busy. I got other things to do. Anyway, you can do it because it's all over the freaking internet, so it's not like you can't find it. All right, and then he says, and Biden got 74 million or 8, what? Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm screwing things up here. All right, let me start over again. All right, let's say he said that, Biden got, fuck. All right, let's just go with what I started with and just go from there because it's just as valid. It works just as well. All right, he says, I got 71 million votes. 71 million people said, voted for me and I got it. And then he says, and Biden, he got 74 million and so he lost. Let that sink in for a second. I got 71 million votes and I won. Biden got 74 million votes and he lost. Something wrong with that man's math. That man is not thinking with a full deck. I'm pretty sure 74 million is about 3 million more than 71 million. So this kind of thinking is just insane. All right? Like I tell you, 2 and 2 equals 4. And that's a fact, and you know it, unless you're like a year and a half old or something, or in a fucking coma. You know that 2 and 2 is 4. You've known that since you were about 3 or 4 years old. How many fingers I got? There's 2 fingers there and there's 2 fingers there. I mean, well, put them all together. Yeah, how many fingers got now? Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fingers. Right, exactly. How old are you? I'm 4 years old. So how old are you? Hold up 4 fingers, show me. 4 fingers. There he holds up 4 fingers. All right, so then we got grown people, grown-ass people in this country. I mean grown-up people. from every age, like, I don't know, from even 12 down to those not so grown up people. 12, 15, 20, 30, 50, 70, 80 years old. 2 and 2 equals elephants. I'm serious. It's, I like 2 and 2 equals 4. That's a fact. The evidence is clear. You can prove it by counting your fucking fingers. If you can count to 10, you can count to 4. But all these Trump weird nutfuckers are saying, oh, well, 2 and 2 equals elephants. That's how stupid it sounds. And if you're like a trumpet person, okay, and you just heard me say that, you should be thinking, wait a minute, what's elephants got to do with counting to 4? Nothing. So, 2 and 2 equals elephants. Really? Yeah, 2 and 2 equals 74, which is less than 71. And they say this to you, like, right to your freaking face, like they record it. They put it on freaking television. They put it on Facebook. They put it on the freaking internet. Like, yeah, 71 is more than 74. With a straight face, these people. What the fuck? I mean, seriously. Seriously? Oh, yeah, he won because there was corruption and they're trying to steal the election. Well, if they're trying, guess what? They succeeded because they won and you lost, dumbass. I'm sorry. It's sad. It's really sad that you're that stupid. I mean, if you're a 3-year-old, I could say, you're just 3. You don't know yet. You can't count to 10. I understand. You're just not educated yet. And your brain's not developed enough that you can actually count to, 10. Now, I can forgive that. But if you're a grown-up person, anything, over 12, and you can't count to 4, if you can't figure out that 74 is more than 71, there's something wrong with your brain. Unless, like I said, you're a 2-year-old. Seriously, that's just fucking insane. All right, here's the other thing. And I can't believe it. I gotta have a drink. I'm drinking heavy today, buddy. Good drink. Anyway, it's just a beverage. It's not alcoholic. No alcohol. I can't even remember the last time I had alcohol. Anyway, that's distraction, isn't it? All right, let's go to this other one. All right, so I'm hearing about forget the politics shit. Let's go to politics is involved with this too, but let's talk about the climate change, the global warming shit. Yeah, okay, I still remember Al Gore saying to me and everybody at that time, back in 2000 something or other, Florida's going to be under 20 foot of water by the year 2020. I stake my life on it. Al Gore, that guy? Guess what? It's 2020, and it's almost over. It's almost 2021. And guess how much water is over Florida? You want to know? Zip. How much is the water? How much is the ocean around Florida rose? Gone up? Up? Like up as opposed to down? Up? How much? In those 20 years or 19 years or whatever it was? How much? I don't know, about, let me think, somewhere around 1/4 of 1%. I mean inch. 1/4 of an inch. 1/4. 1 fucking quarter of an inch. All right, I'll be generous and say what was it? 0.22, okay? 0.22 1/100ths of an inch. Figure out how much that is. That'd be like 22 in 100 years or something. All right, anyway, a quarter, maybe a quarter of an inch. Not 20 feet. I mean, I could give him a pass if it was like 19 feet. Or if it was only, if it only rose up 15 feet. I was close. 5 feet. That's okay. 19.5 feet. That's close enough. Nope. A quarter of an inch. According to statistics that, scientists, that's their job to measure things. And besides, I measured things. I was in Florida. I was in on the beach, and I was in Florida back, a few years ago. And then I was on Myrtle Beach, at Myrtle Beach, there by the ocean, which is up, North South Carolina, that's a little ways up from Florida. And I made, and I checked. Guess what? Myrtle Beach is not under 20 foot of water either. And I was in Florida, like I said, and, from one year to next year, a couple of years later, whatever, and I went back and that ocean there, it's the same as it was the last time I was here. High tide comes in, it goes up to there. Low tide comes in, it's up to there. I checked it. The next year, 5 years later, check it again. How much did it go up? It didn't. It's the same. You put a little mark on the sand on the beach, and the water comes in. High tide. It's the marker. 5 years later, bam, it's the marker. Same. Didn't go up a bit. I mean, maybe a quarter of an inch. It might have gone a little further up on the beach. Maybe. A little bit. Seriously, people. Let's at least try to be credible. All right. So if somebody lies to me or misleads me or tries to, and, and gives me false information or gives me some kind of, stupid thing I answer or something, and then I just proved you were wrong. And so, your credibility is 0. Forever. Now, I can't say that as a blanket rule because I might have said something 20 years ago myself that turned out to be not so true. All right? Now, there's a difference between saying something is true now and something might be true in the future. You might say, well, I think the ocean is going to rise up over Florida there about 20 feet in 20 years. Maybe. Or I might even say, absolutely, I predict that's what's going to happen. Yeah, he's predicting. I mean, you can't prove it until 20 years later, can you? Well, it's 20 years later and bingo, it's not true. I mean, you might have thought it was going to happen, but it didn't. So I would think, if Al Gore would actually come out right now and say, whatever happened to him, by the way? Is he still around? All right. So if he had actually come out now and say, I made a prediction and it was wrong. It was way, way wrong. I said 20 feet. It turned out to be 0.20 of an inch. That's a fifth of an inch. It's like a quarter of an inch. If he'd actually admit that his prediction, 1, did not happen, and 2, was wrong, then I could restore some credibility to the man. But he didn't. I mean, I haven't heard him say that at all, ever. So I'm waiting for that. Hey, Al, admit it. Your prediction was wrong. It didn't happen. Then I would forgive him and say, okay, just don't do it again. And, you know, I mean, if he comes out today, I haven't heard anything about Al Gore for a long time, for a year or two or so. Anyway, if he'd come out now and say something like, well, I was off by, 20 years. I really meant to say 40 years from then, meaning 20 years from now. Oh, you're going to try it again. You said 20 feet by 2020, and now you change it. You're going to say, oh, I'm going to say 20 feet by 2040. Yeah. I'm not going to be around. Well, maybe. I'll be old and decrepit. But anyway, but he's not. I haven't heard him do that. So anyway, so here's the thing. Excuse me. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. So, global warming. And, the ocean's gone up, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I haven't seen it. And I haven't seen any evidence to prove it. So, okay, let's go to the one where the guy says, well, I'll just let you listen. And then I'll tell you what I think. As if you care. Yes, you care. You really do care. Sorry about that. It had nothing to do with you. All right. Where is it? I got it here somewhere. Okay. All right. Listen up. All right.
The world now faces a moment of truth. He says the choice is very simple. Start cutting carbon emissions now or face disaster.
Yeah.
Justin Rolat. Well, for a closer look at the UN's current assessment of the world climate, I spoke to the BBC's Matt McGrath. The World Meteorological Organization, they maintain the records here going back several decades. They use a collection of 5 data sets maintained by meteorological agencies around the world. And they've been able to use those to look at records essentially going back to 1850 to 1900. They call that their baseline years, and they're able to compare modern temperatures to that. And while human activities and climate warming have been going on for decades, temperatures have only really started to climb through the early 2000s, and by 2010 they were starting to move ahead. So the years from 2015-16 to now, the 6th warmest on record, the decade from 2011, the warmest on record. That's the way it's moved, and despite various things like El Nino, etc., the fingerprint of human warming is there, and it's keeping those temperatures high.
Yeah, we keep hearing.
You hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He said, warmest on record or something? Like, did you hear that? Okay. I saw a chart produced by, professional people that, keep track of, the weather and shit. And the chart, which I could look at with my own eyes, it showed me that the average mean temperature of that was like, 53.2 degrees. And then it was like 53.4, 52, 53 point, I'm like, wait a minute. So, and then it's like, it's up and down. 53, 52, 51, 53, 52, 52. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And, today's, how can it be the warmest on record when I'm looking at a chart of the record? You understand what I'm saying? I'm looking at the record. And the record says back in 19 so-and-so, let's say 1917, it was not very warm compared to the year before or the year after. That the record for the year 2019 was like not as warm as it was in, like 1953. And they've been keeping records before 1953, right? So if we have a record from 1953 when it said it was like, the average temperature back in 1953 was 53.2. Now I'm hedging on the figures here because I don't have the chart in front of me. But I can kind of remember it was in the 50s, right? 52, 53, 51. All right. So I'm looking at the chart, and it's the so-called warmest year on record. Was actually cooler than 1953. So I'm guessing it's not the warmest on record. Since we have the record of 1953, that is warmer than it is in 2019. You follow me? I'm looking at the record. 1953, warmer than now. What the bloody hell? So somebody just like this guy said, it's the warmest on freaking record. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at the record. And the record doesn't say that. Seriously. Am I yelling? What kind of... Do these people think I'm stupid? Apparently. And then there are people that will actually, that have looked at, all this stuff on the internet, blah, 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 blah. It's global warming, global warming, global warming, global warming, blah, 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 blah. Warmest on record, warmest on record, warmest on record. Can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, it's the warmest on record. And those people don't show me the record. So the people, you understand what I'm saying? The people who are telling me that it's the warmest on record aren't showing me the record. I don't remember seeing any charts showing me what the temperature was in 1953 and showing me that, 1953 was 53.2 degrees. But now, the temperature is 52.7. Now, don't take these figures I'm giving you as gospel. Let's say I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact 0.0, 0.4, whatever it was. It was 52, 53. It's in their area. You can look it up yourself. I found it. You can find it. It's not like brain surgery. But what I'm saying is, wait a minute. I'm looking right there at the freaking record. Okay, the chart was provided by the guy trying to prove the point. So maybe he just made this chart up. Maybe he just fabricated this chart out of thin air. It happens. But do you think maybe I could actually do a little research and find out whether that chart was valid or not? Pretty sure I could. And when I find that this guy said this and he shows me this chart of the records of temperatures, and then I find on there, so I can just Google this, show me some expert, statistics on the record. Temperatures over the last 100 years, whatever. And, I could find like 4,763,573 hits on that. Pick one or 100. Oh, let's see which ones are consistent. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Oops, that one's not. So anyway, it can happen. So I'm just going by what I'm seeing here, and I'm thinking, I'm reasoning this through, and I'm trying to be logical about this and rational, and I realize that, people can, be crooks and con men and liars and misleading, just, what I'm saying? You can't trust any fucking body. Seriously. But then again, you have to trust somebody, somehow. better you should trust your own judgment and your own ability to think and reason and, and do like calculated math, like 2 and 2 equals, let me think. Oh, yeah, elephants. No, it doesn't. It's always been 4. It will always be 4. 4 is the answer. The only answer. And people get mad at me because, oh, that's your fact. That's your truth. That's your answer. That's your opinion. Like, what? I mean, seriously. If someone tells you that 2 and 2 is 4, and you're going to look at them and argue about that and say, hey, that's just your opinion. Well, I don't do opinions. I do calculated logical conclusions based on critical analytic observations. Those are 2 very, rational processes of thinking that work. Always work. Every single time. Unless your calculator is run by solar energy, in which case, maybe not. Because the solar energy thingies don't always work because sometimes there isn't any sun shining in the sky to, charge your batteries. Yeah, got some lights like that. Anyway, I'm just saying that this hottest on record, huh? I think overall average, we've had a warm winter last year, kind of warm. Still got down to like 8 degrees a couple times, but whatever. It snowed maybe 3 times last year here where I live, which, by the way, is not the entire planet. Where I live is just that I can see about, a half a mile in all 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. I can see maybe not even a half a mile in one direction and the other direction because I live in a valley. So I can see, maybe 1/4 of a mile down the road there and maybe, 1/10 of a mile up there, and over there it's like about 300 feet. Unless I look up above the tree line in the mountain there and see the sky and whatever. So anyway, yeah, I can see the moon, which is really a long way away. But at any rate, what I'm saying is, seriously, 2 and 2 is not elephants. 2 and 2 is not, 74 is not less than 71. Seriously. So, warmest on record. I don't believe it because I've seen some records and that's not true. But I heard the guy say it on this is PBS or something. What is it? Global News Podcast from BBC. And they're talking to this guy. And I'm like, wait a minute. Who the hell is he? And how come I never heard of him? And so, how do I know he's telling the truth? Because he just said so. He didn't even show me a chart. Of course, it's a podcast. It's like, I can't see a chart on a freaking radio, right? And if this was not a podcast, if I actually had video, that you could see pictures and stuff, I'd show you the charts that I've seen. And and besides, around my house, it's been a little warmer generally, but guess what? I've seen it warmer. I mean, this summer, we might have had a 95 degrees a couple of times, few days. But I remember back in the middle and late 50s, that's 1950s for you young people, when the temperature was like approach 100, 101. For the whole month of July and August in the 90s and 100s. Yeah. So I'm thinking, how could it be the warmest on record when back when I was a kid, it was almost 100 degrees every day for a couple of months in the summer. Really? And I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, like 5, 6, 7 years old, 10, 12, 13 years old. The coldest I can remember it being was 17 degrees one day. I think I was 15, 16 years old, 17 maybe, somewhere in there. I can remember being 17 because I was walking to work in the winter because I graduated from high school and, I had a job. And I walked to that job because, I didn't have a car. And so I walked. And it was no big deal because, good exercise. And I walked. It was like 9 blocks or something. Big deal. So I was walking to work and there's a time and temperature thing on the bank. And what is the temperature? And there it is. 17 freaking degrees. Freezing my ass off. But then in 1977, 78, I think it was, 76, 77, 70, somewhere in there, when we had like 4 foot of snow or some outrageous amount of snow, 2 foot, something, I don't know. It was really 25 below zero for like a month and a half. Water pipes were froze all over the town. And oh yeah, it's warmer than that now. Because I haven't seen 25 below zero in a while. And it was pretty cold, about 25 below zero back in 1982. No, 82? 88? Yeah, 82. 25 below zero. But I haven't seen that for a while. I haven't seen that since, actually. And I've been up here in this valley here where I live. Diel de Lead, Los Festus on Tiverball, Sovereign. And guess what? I haven't seen 25 below zero here in the whole 36 years I've been here. Nope. Not that cold. So it is warmer at nights, generally. But what does that prove? That's just here in my little Diel de Lead, which means a clearing in the woods by the creek, Beaverball Creek. So, I'm confused. Anyway, the guy said cold on record. I don't believe it. Now, I could believe it's possible if you just consider the whole planet, and you're talking about all over the planet, the average temperature of the whole planet is a little warmer, okay, by 1 degree or half a degree since 1953. 67 years ago. So, I'm confused. Who's telling me the truth here? This guy that didn't show me any records, didn't show me the chart even, and then this guy that's like, here's the records of the temperatures over the period of, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and guess what? It's colder now than it was then. Average, mean temperature of the world. So, you follow me? I'm confused. And Al Gore, would he just apologize for being wrong and saying, I made a prediction, it was an idiot, it didn't happen? It might happen later, but not now, because I lied. I didn't lie. Maybe I just didn't know any better. Maybe I just was taking a guess and you shouldn't have taken me too seriously, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So, global warming, man, why did they change it from global warming to climate change? Because nobody was buying into the global warming crap. You know why? Because it's not warming. Okay, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But then I can't really go by what everybody else says because, 90% of the people will repeat shit they see on the internet. It's got to be true. It's on the internet. Yeah, but it's not. You just said it because you heard it somewhere because some of your friends said it, or you don't want to seem like the odd man out. You don't want to sound like a Looney Tune by saying, "Oh yeah, that's not true," when like all of your friends are saying it is true, when in fact it's not true. So you just go along with the bullshit because you're a chicken. You're a coward. You can't stand up for your own, or you just obviously just naturally cannot think logically and rationally like a intelligent person. I hate to put people down, but you know what? I am not too impressed with the intellect of humanity. Seriously. There are way too many people that have proven to me by their words and their actions that they're not that bright. In America, the average IQ is something like 98. That's not even average. That's just average for Americans. That's not even average for humanity. 98, really. Now, I could get called names. I don't know what kind of name it is, a narcissist or something. I could be called a name because I'm thinking I'm smarter than 98%. I mean, 98 on the IQ scale. My IQ is over 100, considerably over 100, towards that direction of genius. I said towards, I didn't say in that area, I said towards that area. I'm either one of the smartest dumb people or one of the dumbest smart people, whichever way you want to look at it. So anyway, and that's enough bragging for me. But anyway, the point is that, fuck, I forgot what I said. Hold on. So, if the average IQ, I don't want to get into that thing too much, but I'm not that impressed by the overall intellect of Americans. I can't speak for Chinese and English, the French, the Spanish, or whatever. I don't live there and I don't follow that too much. But in America, I'm not impressed. If I'm on Facebook or I'm on this place called Gab, yeah, Gab. I'm like the only voice of reason on that place. The only voice of reason. And there are probably other people on there that are like me, that are a little bit smarter than, those people. And probably not redneck, dumb fuck, stupid people and chicken clucking morons. But they don't speak up. I do, and I get called names and attacked like, vile creatures, these people that attack me for no reason. Because they're not smart. And they think that I said something I didn't say. And they think I'm talking about something I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the meanings of words. By the way, words mean what they mean. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what the government says. You don't think it's... Anyway, words mean what they mean. Up means up. Down means down. Always has, always will. That's the way it works. War is peace and all that shit, like in the book, 1984. I read the book, I saw the movie, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's idiotic. And if you're gonna, think that Donald Trump won the election, then you can't count. Oh, there was fraud. Oh, I don't know. What was that guy? The number one guy in chief of the Homeland Security, who was in charge of the security of the election, said, no widespread fraud. The results are pretty accurate, and your man lost. And he even works for the government. And then, of course, he got fired by Trump because Trump doesn't like it when you tell the truth. And particularly about him. Sorry, Mr. President, I know I work for you, but you're lying and you didn't win. So, tough shit. Get over it. And the other guy, who's like the number one police cop officer person in the country, what's his name? Barr. He says, not a whole lot. Nope. No evidence of widespread corruption or fraud in the election. Oh, shit. I think he should be careful because, Donald Trump might fire him for saying, the truth. I mean, when your own man says you're lying, when your own man says it's not true, then, they should probably, like the people around him in the White House and stuff, they should probably just take him aside, say, listen, Donald, you're out of your mind. You didn't win. You lost. It's a done deal. So shut up. Start packing your bags. You're going to out of here. You're going to be out of here in like 48 days or so. You know what I'm saying? It just boggles the mind. So, okay, but I understand, 71 million people voted for this lunatic, and that means, I'm guessing, you might be a lunatic. What is it Jeff Foxworthy says? If you believe Trump won the election, you could be a lunatic or a redneck. Anyway, just boggles my mind. So that's the temperature thing. You heard the guy, warmest on record, blah, blah, blah. It's just boggles the mind. It truly does. All right, that's it for me for this time, and I'll talk to you later. Just remember, share. Even if you don't like what I just said, even if you don't like what I'm saying, share it with people, other people, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, your family, next door neighbor. Put it on your Facebook thing, put it on your Gab thing, gab.com. Go there. It's amusing. You can laugh until you cry at these idiots saying stupid shit. Even after they've been proven wrong, even after I tell them, prove to them that they're wrong, bingo, they still get mad and call me bad names. It's just pathetic. These are human beings that live in my country, where I live, the same country I live in, America. Chokes me up even to think about it. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. D. McClung, Archer Monologues. Share, please, share this. All right, far and wide. Appreciate it. D. McClung, Archer Monologues. Catch you next time.